Welcome to the podcast summary of Lindsay Lohan. Today's story is really about three different Lindsay Lohans at once: the child prodigy, the tabloid-era cautionary tale, and the working actor who's managed a very modern comeback. Her career started absurdly early, got huge fast, then nearly stalled out under the weight of fame, legal trouble, and plain old unreliability. And what's interesting now is that the return didn't come through some grand prestige movie rescue, but through streaming, steadier choices, and a much calmer personal life. Lohan's rise began so early, it barely sounds real. She was modeling for Ford at 3, acting on daytime soaps by 7, and by the time Disney's 1998 Parent Trap came around, she was carrying a whole movie by herself twice over as both twins. That performance didn't just make her famous. It gave her a reputation for being unusually poised and technically sharp at an age when most kids are still figuring out where to look when someone hands them a camera. Then came the run that really locked in her place in pop culture. Freaky Friday brought in $160 million worldwide. Mean Girls made $129 million, and that Mean Girls performance still has serious staying power. The New Yorker later ranked it 11th among the best film performances of the 21st century, which is a pretty striking way to talk about a teen comedy that people still quote like it came out last week. At the exact moment her acting career was peaking, she also did the very 2000 celebrity move of launching a pop career. Her album Speak came out in 2004, went platinum, debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200, and sold 1 million copies in the US. That's a real hit, even if critics mostly landed on the idea that she was solid more than spectacular as a singer. A little more personal followed in 2005, and went gold. So this wasn't just a side hobby or a vanity project that disappeared in a week. And one of the more revealing details from that era is Rumors, where she turned the paparazzi circus around her into the actual subject of a pop song. Even then, she was already living inside a feedback loop where celebrity itself was becoming part of the work. After Just My Luck opened to $5.7 million in 2006, she started moving toward more mature and more independent projects. That included A Prairie Home Companion, Bobby Chapter 27, and later The Canyons. It's an interesting stretch because it shows her trying to age out of the teen star lane and into something more complicated. And the talent question never really went away. Meryl Streep said, "Lohan was in command of the art form, which is not the kind of compliment you casually toss at someone." She also got a Screen Actors Guild nomination as part of Bobby's ensemble, so there was this clear split in how people saw her. Inside the work, serious collaborators could still see the ability. Outside the work, her reputation was becoming harder and harder to separate from the headlines. The real break in her career wasn't just that people were gossiping about her. It's that the instability started to affect production in practical ways. Beginning with production problems during Georgia Rule in 2006, the pattern kept repeating. Lateness, hospitalizations, rehab stays, arrests, legal obligations. Over time, it stopped being a rough patch and became a nearly decade-long disruption. That matters because Hollywood is an industry that runs on scheduling, insurance, and risk calculations more than it likes to admit. Once executives start wondering whether you're reliable or even insurable, the damage isn't abstract anymore. One industry assessment basically described her as unemployable until she could prove sobriety and dependability. Projects were delayed, abandoned, or recast, including The Edge of Love and Poor Things. That's the brutal part of this kind of fame story. A bad reputation can be rehabilitated. A reputation for blowing up the logistics of a production is much harder to outrun. Alongside all of that, Lohan kept trying to turn celebrity into something more independent through business ventures. She moved through fashion, music, hospitality, digital products, and TV with the 6126 clothing line, clubs in Greece, a lifestyle site, a celebrity video game, and the Lowdown podcast. Some of it worked better than others, and some of it really didn't. Her 2009 role as artistic advisor at Ungaro got a disastrous reception, and Lindsay Lohan's Beach Club lasted only 1 season. Still, the pattern is clear. She wasn't only waiting for Hollywood to decide what to do with her. She kept looking for ways to convert visibility into leverage, even if the results were uneven. What's happened more recently is a comeback that makes sense for the way entertainment works now. Instead of reappearing overnight in some big prestige drama reset, she came back through streaming. Falling for Christmas, her 2022 Netflix movie, became the most watched holiday movie released in the US that year, and critics were generally positive about her performance. That led to a 2-picture Netflix deal, and then Irish Wish and Our Little Secret, which is a pretty efficient demonstration that she could show up, deliver, and give platforms exactly what they were hiring her for. Then Freakier Friday reunited her with Jamie Lee Curtis and became her second highest grossing film, which is a nice full-circle moment without feeling overly sentimental about it. And a planned Hulu series, Count My Lies, would give her a first starring role in a series, which is another sign that the industry's willingness to bet on her has changed in a real way. The personal side matters here because Lohan has long described growing up in a family dynamic where she felt stuck in the middle, almost like a second parent helping hold things together. That family turbulence fed directly into her public image and into her work, especially Confessions of a Broken Heart, which made that pain unusually visible for a pop release from that period. Now, the newer version of the story is much quieter. She married financier Bader Shammas in 2022, moved to Dubai, and had a son in 2023. She said that living in Dubai helped her set boundaries and prioritize herself, and whether you look at that personally or professionally, it seems tied to the fact that the comeback has actually held. There's something almost simple about that after so many years of chaos. The recovery story isn't built on one triumphant speech or one perfect movie. It's built on steadiness, which might be the least flashy and most important plot twist of all. Lohan's career still has the strange shape of someone who got famous too young, proved she had real talent, lost years to instability, and then found her way back through a completely different entertainment landscape. And honestly, for someone who once had to survive both Hollywood and the 2000s tabloid machine, a calm, working actor chapter sounds pretty hard-earned. This episode was generated by Podkey. Create your own at podkey.fm.